Hey everyone, and welcome back to Motivation Library for another deep dive.
I'm so excited for this one.
Me too. Today we're diving into The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Such a good book.
Oh my gosh, so good. It's like old Hollywood glamour with all the scandal.
Yes. A total tell-all and that twist at the end
Oh yeah, I did not see that coming.
had me thinking about Evelyn in a whole new light.
Absolutely. What I think is so fascinating about this book, though, is it's not just a Hollywood story.
Right.
It's about ambition
Survival.
and the price of fame for women, especially back then.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't read it yet, we have Evelyn Hugo, this huge Hollywood icon.
Seven husbands.
Yes, seven husbands.
And she decides to finally tell her story.
Right. And she picks Monique Grant.
This, pretty unknown reporter.
Right, to write it all down.
And that choice is important.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
So much to unpack there. But let's start with Evelyn.
Let's do it from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, so different from those red carpets.
Right. Talk
I
about a
s-
glow up. It's
Yeah.
like an entrepreneur story. Totally.
And-
You see that drive in her
She's a cape.
and create a new life for herself.
And then she marries Ernie Diaz, her first husband.
Her ticket out of Hell's Kitchen. But she learns quickly that Hollywood
Is not what it seems.
not all it's cracked up to be.
And she starts playing the game,
Yeah.
changing her name, dyeing her hair.
Inventing this whole new backstory.
So smart.
Yeah.
It shows how much she understands image.
The power of a good story.
It's like today with social media.
Oh my gosh, yes.
How much is real? How much is curated?
Oh, right. Makes you think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get to the good part.
The seven husbands.
We could talk for hours about each marriage.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Maybe we focus on a few.
To illustrate the bigger themes.
Exactly.
What do you think? Yeah, I think that's smart. Like the contrast between Don Adler, husband number 2,
Right.
and Celia St. James, who you could argue was the real love of Evelyn's life.
Definitely Don Adler seems like this passionate romance at first,
Yeah, or with
but you get those hints early on that he's controlling.
abusive even.
And there's that chapter,
How to marry a movie star.
like a guidebook for manipulation,
Seriously. It foreshadows the darkness in that relationship,
and shows the power dynamics in Hollywood.
especially for women.
The studios had so much control over them.
It makes you wonder if those early marriages
For Evelyn,
were even about love
or just survival,
in this system designed to exploit her.
which brings us to Celia St. James.
This is not just some fling.
No, this love spans decades.
Impacts every choice she makes.
What struck me was how their relationship plays out against all this societal homophobia.
It's hard to imagine.
Falling in love with someone you can't be with openly.
That fear of exposure,
How it could ruin your whole career.
your life.
Heartbreaking. They have this incredible connection, but they have to hide it.
They steal moments together, endure these painful separations.
Constantly navigating this world that's not ready for them.
But they find ways to make it work.
They create their own world where their love can exist.
It's really powerful. It says so much about how deep their feelings are.
Absolutely. Makes you think about how far we've come with LGBTQ plus rights.
Right. But also how far we still have to go,
It's a reminder that love can exist anywhere,
even under the toughest circumstances.
but it makes you wonder, could Evelyn ever really be happy living a lie?
Was the fame worth it?
That's the question.
The price of fame, you know? And I think you start to see the weight of that in some of her later decisions.
Like deciding to have a child with Harry Cameron.
Husband number 5.
Yeah, it feels so complex.
Like part of her wanted that traditional family.
But was it what she really wanted or just what society expected?
It's something so many people deal with, especially women.
This pressure to hit certain milestones,
To be seen as successful,
marriage, motherhood, career.
you have to check all the boxes.
Even Evelyn, with all her fame and fortune, couldn't escape it.
Wow, that's so true. Makes you wonder, was any of it really her choice?
Or was she always performing?
Even in her personal life.
That's a great point. And is what makes this book so good.
You peel back the layers of this perfect life.
And you see the mess.
The compromises.
The heartbreak.
It totally busts the having it all myth.
Was she ever really happy?
Or just playing a role.
Then we learned about Monique's father and his connection to Evelyn.
Oh my gosh, that was a twist.
Right. Changes everything. It hints at a past mistake.
A secret she's kept for years.
And it makes you think about how our choices can have lasting consequences.
Even those split-second decisions
It humanizes her. It shows that even the most glamorous people
make mistakes
have regrets.
and carry burdens.
None of us are perfect.
So true.
Which leads us to Max Gerard, husband number 6.
Such a passionate relationship.
Intense.
But it seems like even with him, she's still thinking about Celia.
Like Celia's always there.
The one constant.
It shows that some love can't be replaced.
And then there's Robert Jameson, the seventh husband.
This one feels different.
More about friendship.
I understand.
It challenges the idea of what a relationship should be.
Right. They build this unconventional family
Out of loyalty and respect.
to protect Celia and Connor.
It shows how societal views on relationships and families have evolved.
Love comes in so many forms.
And family isn't just about blood.
It's about the people who choose to love and support you.
And in this family, we see Evelyn at her most vulnerable.
She's not just a star anymore.
She's a mother,
A protector.
wrestling with love and loss.
It makes her story even more relatable.
She's not so different from us.
We all have struggles.
Make mistakes.
Experience heartbreak.
It's those vulnerable moments that make her story so powerful.
They remind us that behind the glamour,
There's a real person,
with real emotions,
a complex inner life.
it keeps us hooked
We want to know more.
about this enigmatic woman.
Unravel the truth behind her facade.
Because at the end of the day,
We all crave connection
understanding.
and a glimpse into the hearts of those larger-than-life figures, don't we?
We do.
It's interesting how the book shows the sacrifices she makes.
To protect this family she's built.
Right, like with John Celia's partner.
When he dies, it's devastating for everyone.
It shows how close they all were.
They really were a family.
Exactly.
Like chosen family.
We were saying that earlier.
And then there's that accident
What? Yeah.
that forces Evelyn to make a choice.
Such a tough situation.
A real moral dilemma.
She ends up protecting the people she loves,
Even if it means,
crossing a line.
right, it shows how pragmatic she is
She'll do what it takes.
to keep them safe.
But how far is too far?
That's the question, isn't it?
We all have those moments.
Where you weigh your values against the consequences
And sometimes even good intentions.
can lead to bad outcomes.
And that decision really stays with her.
The guilt.
The remorse.
You can feel it.
Another way the book makes her human.
She's not just this strong, untouchable figure.
She makes mistakes,
She has regrets.
feels vulnerable.
It's like that perfect image of her starts to crack.
And we see the real person underneath.
A woman dealing with a really tough choice.
It reminds us that our actions
Have consequences. That can last for years. It adds this layer of tragedy to her story.
definitely. But it also shows how resilient she is.
She doesn't fall apart.
She keeps going,
Fights for her career.
navigates all the craziness of Hollywood.
All while protecting her loved ones.
It's amazing. It shows her inner strength,
Yeah, like she can compartmentalize and keep moving forward.
even with that weight from the past.
Makes you wonder if that's what drew her to Celia.
Oh, interesting.
They both had that determination.
To live life on their own terms.
Exactly. And speaking of Celia,
Their relationship comes back into focus.
as Evelyn gets older,
And then we find out about the marriage to Robert Jameson.
Celia's brother.
What?
I know. Total shock. It changes everything.
It does. You see this whole web of relationships
This plan they created
to protect Celia.
and give Connor stability.
It shows how dedicated they were to each other.
Even with all the pressure,
And Celia's health declining,
they create this family structure that works for them.
no matter what anyone else thinks.
And it's through this marriage
This selfless act
that we understand why she's telling her story.
to Monique,
That unknown reporter.
it all comes back to that.
There's a reason she chose her.
And then it hits you.
The connection.
They have a shared history.
And it explains everything.
Monique's father.
Evelyn's past.
It's a bombshell.
It reframes the whole story.
It's heartbreaking.
But hopeful at the same time.
It makes you think about how our choices affect others,
And the possibility of redemption.
even after making mistakes,
It shows how connected our lives are.
in ways we don't even realize,
And that even small actions
can have huge ripple effects. Then, as Evelyn's life is coming to an end,
she makes this big decision
that really makes you think.
about morality.
Forgiveness,
It's that letter she gives Monique.
with the truth about her father,
It shows she wants closure.
to reconcile.
Right the wrongs of the past
It's like she's trying to find peace.
before it's too late.
It's a powerful moment.
She admits the pain she's caused.
Tries to offer some comfort.
To those she's hurt,
It reminds us that even at the end of our lives,
we concede forgiveness.
make amends.
Leave behind a legacy that reflects who we really are. It's such a powerful message.
Especially after everything Evelyn went through,
It makes you think about your own actions
how they impact others.
and the importance of forgiveness.
And then her final act.
Ending her life on her own terms.
It's definitely controversial.
Makes you think.
About control.
The right to choose your own destiny. It's a sensitive topic.
But the book handles it well.
It makes you confront your own beliefs
About death.
and what you would do.
In that situation. Evelyn's story shows us
that we're in control of our own lives
we have the power to choose how we live,
and how we die.
even when things are hard.
It's a strong message,
Makes you think about what really matters.
and to make the most of the time we have. And it reminds us that even the most glamorous people,
Are still human.
they have the same fears,
Desires.
uncertainty.
We all do.
Evelyn's story is about that shared experience.
The messiness.
The beauty.
The way we impact each other.
You know, it's funny because thinking back on everything Evelyn goes through,
From Hell's Kitchen to that final act.
yeah, I kept coming back to that idea of the price of fame.
It really is a theme throughout the whole book.
Right. Makes you wonder, can you really be happy when you're always in the spotlight?
You're always performing.
Always thinking about your image.
And it's not just the outside press.
Right, the media and paparazzi.
It's the stuff you have to give up.
The parts of yourself you hide
To fit in.
to keep up that perfect persona.
For Evelyn, she had to survive in a system that didn't support women.
Especially women who didn't follow the rules.
She used her marriages and relationships
To get ahead.
to protect herself.
To have some control in a world that wanted to control her.
It all comes back to that question.
Can you be successful without compromising your values?
Could Evelyn have it all?
Or were there always sacrifices
Hidden costs.
that took away from her happiness?
It's a tough one.
There's no easy answer.
But her story definitely makes you think about your own choices.
Your ambitions.
Your values.
The lines you're willing to cross.
To get what you want.
It's about knowing yourself.
Being honest about your motivations.
And the price you're willing to pay.
Because sometimes chasing success takes you further from who you really are.
From the things that matter most.
And that's a big takeaway from Evelyn's story.
Real happiness isn't just about what other people think.
It's about finding peace with yourself.
Living according to your values.
Surrounding yourself with people who love you.
For who you are.
Flaws and all.
It's about realizing that life isn't this straight line to success.
It's messy.
Unpredictable.
All of ups and downs. And those moments of joy that you don't see coming.
Those are the moments that matter.
Connections.
Vulnerability.
The shared humanity.
That's what makes it all worthwhile.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo,
We want to hear from you.
what stuck with you?
What did you learn from Evelyn?
Was it her ambition?
Her love stories.
Her strength?
Or maybe those tough choices she had to make.
Share your thoughts with us.
Talk about it with your friends.
Let Evelyn's story inspire you to live your life to the fullest.
With passion.
Purpose.
And never be afraid to be yourself.
That's what great books do.
They stick with you.
They start conversations.
They challenge you to see things differently.
They help us understand ourselves and each other a little bit better.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
And until next time,
Happy reading, everyone.